Hello everyone! Yesterday I saw a very interesting thread on Reddit. Before I start, I want to make a few things clear again. I don't want Star Citizen to fail. I want Star Citizen to become a fantastic game and a huge success. I am way past concierge. However, I have no hope left anymore with Chris and CIG's top management. I haven't bought any ships with fresh money in the last 3 years. I had an interesting thought. I'm not convinced this is the truth, but hear me out. It makes a lot more sense if we assume Chris doesn't want to make Star Citizen and doesn't want to make Squadron 42. Chris sees this as a business model and it works very well. 2026 is on the way to be his best year in funding ever. Why am I saying this? Because CIG has achieved very little after more than 13 years and after more than $1 billion in funding. I have a hard time to believe that someone can be so incompetent. All Chris has achieved in more than 13 years is a laggy, buggy tech demo with missing basics, missing mechanics, almost no physics, boring and repetitive gameplay, time sinks on top of time sinks. We don't even have reliably working elevators. Let's get to the topic of today. This is a posting on Star Citizen, not refunds, with 3,445 upvotes. I'm a whale and I only play a game from my org, not having any fun, by Elite 968. I'm a backer from 2014 and I really used to believe in the vision for this game. But after 12 long years, it is impossible to deny that the current state of the game is simply unacceptable. The usual defense of "it's alpha, deal with it or go touch grass" is such a lazy, stupid argument for a project that has been in development for over a decade. And let's not forget the $1 billion they've brought in. I find this really interesting. Looks to me like more and more people are waking up from the dream. I don't expect an alpha to be bug-free, however, I absolutely expect the game to have sorted out its absolute basic mechanics by now. We shouldn't still be struggling with things like safely getting into a ship or your own hangar, dying to elevators or having ships randomly explode inside hangars, falling out of quantum traveling ships or falling straight through the map, suddenly suffocating while wearing a fully equipped helmet. I cannot agree more. And don't get me started on the events. There's not a single event in the game right now that works reliably. TSG, Tactical Strike Group, no. Onyx, no. Contested Zones, no. Cargo hauling or mining, no. Vendul, no. Almost every single gameplay loop is broken. Basic mechanics are completely fucked yet again. This is Chris, letter from a chairman, December 2024. 2025 will focus on playability. As we jump into the new year, 2025, our primary focus across our Star System teams is clear: improving playability. Our drive for playability surrounds 3 critical areas: performance, stability, and content. We understand that the live environment must be far more reliable and consistent, and we are determined to deliver on this. This was a big, fat lie. We got less new mechanics in 2025, but CIG did not improve playability in 2025 at all. On top of that, the sheer amount of time this game demands just to do anything is ridiculous. Managing an org event has become a painful, grueling experience. Just organizing 15 people for an event can easily take 1 to 2 hours, easily because of constant bugs, server errors, and nonsensical design decisions. Then when you finally get started and get completely screwed over by the game after 3 to 4 hours of fighting the system, you're left wondering, what the fuck am I even doing here? Am I having fun? No. Are my mates having fun? No. I just wasted an entire evening fighting the game itself. Yeah, even if we assume Star Citizen would be totally bug-free and would have top performance, Star Citizen would still be boring and tedious for the most part. Chris seems to think the more tedious and boring the gameplay is, the more fun people have. Time sinks on top of time sinks on top of time sinks. Star Citizen is a space game. I'm not supposed to teleport all over the map in a split second. I understand this and I'm fine with this, but what Chris does is almost torture. CIG seems to be unable to give us a halfway decent user interface, item interaction system, and inventory system. All because Chris loves cool cinematic. I've realized that I'm only logging in for my org. I love spending time with them, but honestly, that time would be much better spent playing literally any other game together. By most standards, I would be considered a whale. I still don't regret the money I've spent over the years, but I have officially lost all hope that CRG will deliver a real, functional game anytime soon. Rant over. Let's assume Chris really wants to make Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Chris had top people like, for example, John Pritchard. John Pritchard gave us a fantastic 3.1.4 GraphLab. It was so much fun. It used to look ahead and made small adjustments on its own. Then around 3.4, John Pritchard had to leave under strange circumstances. And in 3.5, CRG totally destroyed John Pritchard's GraphLab. This is just one person, but there are a lot more very good devs that are not with CRG anymore. Instead, Chris CRG hired young, inexperienced people. And Chris surrounded himself with spineless yes men like Richard Tyra. Chris, this is a recipe for disaster. I think now it's time for Chris to come out and tell us what is going on. Why is the game in such a terrible state? What happened to 2025, the year of playability? But Chris won't do this. Link to this thread is in my first pinned comment below. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
What is this? Is Dennis around here? Demonstrate a few things, because first off, let me just go into the outside view.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.